Here are 11 lessons from the book The Psychology of Money that helped frame how I think about money. This book is a New York Times bestseller and has a few gems I would like to share with you today. Luck versus risk. These can be seen as two sides of a coin. You can do some research and invest your money into a stock. In a few years, that stock may not have grown in value, or you may have lost money on that investment. It is possible that when that stock was bought, you may have just made a bad decision. There is also a good chance that you made the right decision, but you are on the receiving end of some bad luck. That's because there's plenty of things not in our control. This stock in question could have had a 70% chance of making money, and you just fell on the 30% chance it was not going to work out. And equally, things could have been the other way around, where you just get some dumb luck. You pick something that was actually a bad decision and it ended up working out for you. A good example is Bill Gates. It just so happened he attended one of the only schools in his state that had a computer. Maybe if that hadn't have happened, he wouldn't be worth the billions of dollars he is today. It goes to show you don't know what kind of risk and luck are going to be involved in your decision. Plan on the plan, not going to plan. This is something that occurs in everyday life, so our financial plans shouldn't be any different. We should have backups ready should the worst happen. This means having an emergency fund in place. This can be anything from 3 to 6 months of living expenses in case things were to go wrong. While you don't want to focus on all the negative things that could happen, you want to approach your future like an adult and plan for the unexpected. Focus on not screwing up. Instead of trying to make big gains, getting it wrong can be much worse than getting it right. And that refers to the importance of avoiding major financial mistakes rather than trying to achieve extraordinary gains. There's an emphasis that long-term financial success is more about staying out of trouble and being consistent rather than chasing huge returns or taking excessive risks. Having steady, sustainable progress, such as saving regularly, avoiding debt, and not overreacting to market volatility is key. And preserving what you have by making well thought out decisions is more important than trying to maximize every opportunity. In essence, financial success often comes from not losing what you've worked hard for, rather than trying to win big all the time. Be a pilot of your own finances. There is a saying with pilots that their jobs are hours of boredom punctuated by moments of sheer terror. Same applies to investing. Your success as an investor is determined by how you respond when things go upside down. The definition of a financial genius is doing the average thing when everyone else around you is going crazy. Having less ego to achieve more wealth. It's important to remember that wealth is what you don't see. Saving money is the gap between your ego and your income. You can build up your wealth by stopping unnecessary spending. It will give you more money and opportunities in the future. And this can be applied to anyone at any level of earning. You need to have the ability to stop the urge of spending outside of your means and suppressing that desire, as it's something that can very easily get out of hand. Approaching your finances like this helps you rest easy, being able to sleep at night. Not needing to stress or worry about our finances is probably the most freeing situation to be in, and something I'm sure everyone strives for, not only with our savings rate, but also when looking at investment opportunities. When you see an investment, you need to ask yourself, is it worth the stress that comes with it? And if you'd be able to sleep at night without constantly worrying about it. If you do think it will create a source of stress in your life, then it may be worth considering going in a different direction and going for an option that may give you less money, but also less stress. Freedom should be the top priority. Even if you're doing something you enjoy, being locked into a routine you dislike or working with people who drain you can turn something you once loved into something you dread. So even if you're satisfied with your current job, it's important to start building towards more freedom into your life now, because what if down the line your company changes policy, your responsibilities shift, or you're forced into a schedule that you can't stand? That's why many people may walk away from higher paying jobs into something that pays less but is also more satisfying and fulfilling. It's something worth considering, and it's not always best to just chase a paycheck. You need to put a value on your own happiness, with much of the time it being tied to freedom, autonomy, and fulfillment. And it's not a lesson you want to learn too late either. Investing doesn't have to be complex. When it comes to investing, there's plenty of options, and often people can become overwhelmed with the amount of choice and just won't know where to start or begin. These categories can include investing into real estate, investing in a business, bonds, or the thousands of stock options available online. But it doesn't need to be complicated. In the book, he talks about one of the easiest things that you can do is to open up a tax-efficient account like a Roth IRA or an ISA account, and to then invest in low-cost, well-diversified index funds. And you can continually put money away monthly on a consistent basis over the long term and not to worry about the dips in the market. As when it comes to investing, you want to be looking at it from a long-term perspective, so 5, 10, 15 years down the line. It sounds simple and it does work. Never tell me the odds. The stats of making money in the stock market are about 50-50 over one day, 66% over a year, and goes up to 90% over 10 years. This just shows that you need to stay in the stock market long enough to reap the rewards and earn compound gains. The stock market does go up and down, and it's important not to panic when this happens, because you need to look at this from a long-term perspective. You also don't want to be timing the market, because there is no such thing. Rather, consistently investing on a regular basis every single month. Take calculated risks. Taking some risks can be beneficial, but it has to be calculated. To make money in the stock market, you need to invest, which inherently involves risk. While keeping money in a savings account might seem safer, doing so guarantees you won't see any significant returns. It's crucial to avoid risks that could seriously harm your life, but taking calculated risks where there's a strong chance of success is often worthwhile. We shouldn't let the presence of risk prevent us from taking action, especially if there are good odds of an upside to the investment. Learn to say this is enough. Most of us have enough to meet our basic needs: food, water, and shelter, but we always strive for more money or a bigger house or a nicer car. Now, those things are good, but it's important to realize when we have enough. Most of us can settle for what we have, and having anything extra would just be a bonus. Right now, I do have enough, and anything extra would be unnecessary. If we can keep our desires modest, we can reach contentment much sooner than others. Some things like our reputation, freedom, family, friends, and happiness are too valuable to risk just to gain more. Now, the best way to keep these essentials is by not jeopardizing them for the sake of having more than what we truly need. Those were some of the main lessons and takeaways I got from this book. If you haven't already, it's definitely worth a read. If you like this sort of stuff, you might want to check out this video of mine. I go over some of the best financial books I've read so far, and it may be worth a watch if you're into that sort of thing. Thanks for watching.